I've been speaking with a few guest speakers in the past, and I do have a lot of guest speakers lined up in the near few weeks, and they'll be basically covering stuff like holistic nutrition, fitness. Some of them are bodybuilding experts, so if you guys are actually looking to gain some muscle and get a nice pump going, there will be a really good source of knowledge for you to get started. Because let's keep it real, guys. Muscles, build this world. You know, if you are skinny and lacking in power, you're basically kind of like useless in this world. We don't do so. Get some muscles, get your testosterone up, and that's where things are gonna kind of start to unfold for you in a good way. Now, don't be this prick where you're jacked up on roids and is a mess for everything. At the end of the day, it's all about growing organically with your body. Train hard, grow hard, learn hard, and like that, karma will actually keep returning severely. Now, there are a few things that, like I said, I've been covering, I've been putting notes and whatnot, and you guys need to hear this out because this is very, very important stuff. So, the first thing that popped up on my screen a few days ago was a post made in the Ottawa community. And basically, it is, I assume it's a girl that made this post. And basically, it's breaking down how you see, there's this community of guys nowadays who like to approach people in public spaces, like cold approach in the mall. Hey, I thought you were really cute. Want to come say hi? And they record it on the phone or on their, glasses and whatnot. There's this new technology going on. And I get it. Some of you guys want to do it for the views and whatnot, and I get it. That's how you get clicks. That's how you may be able to monetize your page from it. I mean, that's how I do it. But it's another topic when you're actually spending your energy and your time out of your day going out, meeting some random people that don't even know you, and trying to get them to like you. I mean, tell me what's going on here. Is there some sort of insecurity about you wanting to get some validation in life? Do you want to look for external sources of validation? Because without it, you're going to feel depressed, sad. So here's my think about and take about this specific topic. I just came back from a trip to Miami, and perhaps I saw for the first time in my life, like with my own eyes, the power of status, of money, and tight community, aka social circle. Now, I want you to understand this. Nowadays, we live in a world where it's much harder to, you know, I wouldn't say become successful, but actually make something out of yourself because there's so many distractions. People get distracted on a lot of things and they feel like they are actually making progress, but in reality they're not. Whilst you go to places where it's much harder to get into, and you will encounter people who are attending those exact spots, and they will be actually more open to get to know you and actually, collaborate with you, both men and women. But if you go to like public places like malls, beaches, basically where the public can go most of the time, you're obviously going to be encountering people who will be having their walls up, so to say. And the reason why I don't like that approach nowadays, just to spend your time going out and meeting random people, is because don't you have anything better to do, man? Like I'm speaking to guys right now. Like, don't you have anything better to do than actually maybe spending your time at the gym, building your muscles, creating content to grow your reputation, helping clients, perhaps making clients to change lives, to create some karmic retribution. Don't you have anything better to do than that? Because I'm not trying to brag here, but every time I go places, I usually like to go places where A, I already have some reputation, or B, there's already some sort of people that will want to get to know me.
right? None of these toxic places where nobody cares about you and whatnot. But they also goes to another topic where there's no point in looking for external validation because it's temporary. You might get temporary validation here and there. You might get the best time of your life. But then once the validation ends, you're actually going to feel bad about it and try to seek more of it. So why not seek validation through yourself, through your achievements, through helping people, building your fitness, building your business, building your money, charisma? Because just like that, you'll be able to, like the law of attraction says, attract butterflies, not flies. Because honey attracts bees. Bees are productive. They make honey. They make actually, something productive for this world. And shit, or I would say crap, YouTube, chill, actually attracts flies. You don't want to attract flies to your life. Attract butterflies to the garden. So yeah, if you guys, unless you're actually filming content and trying to like not be a creep and whatnot, I get it. You guys are approaching the malls and whatnot. It's much better that you guys actually build yourself up, build your business, build your brand, build your status. And just like that, when you're walking places, people recognize you and genuinely want to get to know you in a good way. You don't want to be a clown specifically to be able to get the validation you want. So this is my topic for specifically these, public cold approach weirdos. Another topic is violence. Now, I'm talking about violence in a way of controlled violence. And I've been always preaching specifically the importance of controlled violence. This is what my brand is about. Banana Fighter Fit was founded not just because I want to teach people how to fight, but also because the importance of staying fit, ready for fighting, but also training fighting so you don't have to fight. And this brings me to the subject of people insulting people online. Now, it's been a while since I've actually been insulted by someone in person, face to face. Most of the times when I was ever, insulted or called names, it's maybe because I was walking in nightclubs and somebody was super drunk and mistake me for somebody else. But usually with sober people, I've had super great experiences in person. Drunk people, people on drugs, that's another topic. But that being said, people insulting people online. Now, that's a very interesting topic. So let's say you're talking to a group of friends or you're actually trying to make a business deal happen, right? If someone out of the blue maybe gets a bit pissed off or mad and calls you names or tries to insult you via text, for example, that tells you something very important. That if you, like, for example, I never got insulted basically in person, and this person decides you to insult online, that tells you that he doesn't have the actual balls to come and say it in real life. Now, I don't advocate for violence, but I do advocate for self respect and, how can I say, setting boundaries for self respect. Now, for some people whose lives depend on dealing with people making business deals happen, and you have sometimes to do with those types of people who will try to insult you online. Well, it all comes down to maintaining self control of yourself, emotional self control, because the moment you lose temper, you're losing the game. So if you do find yourself encountering these types of people who insulting you online and it's like a business deal going wrong, or if even it's like a close friend sometimes insulting you and it's actually like it's serious, like it's not like a play insulting. He's actually generally trying to piss you off. It all goes down to, hey man, next time I understand that it's been in the heat of the moment, but next time just try to say it to my face. Now, if we come to the point where somebody is actually saying to my face, well, now we're saying, okay, well, I understand it's been at the heat of the moment. However, as long as you apologize, there's no issues, right? But if you don't apologize and if you keep insulting me, because mind you, a very intelligent person will apologize. But if they decide to be a bit of a dum dum and keep insulting you, then we have a problem, right? And in most case scenarios, what real men at least used to do is that they were straightening this out. And by straightening this out, I mean blows and whatnot. So there's many ways nowadays that people do it, which I actually find it super cool. Is that you would do a straightener, aka like a duel, a friendly one, where let's say for example you invite them over to a gym session, like for at the gym, a martial arts gym, for example. You put the gloves on, put your mouth guard, put your, headgear, and just go at it. And after that, you're gonna be best friends. Trust me, I've been with a few people who actually sometimes were a bit more tense during sparring sessions and training sessions. And just because I was able to, you know, have a good sparring session with them, punch it out, they actually respected me even more because I was able to control my violence. I allowed them to let out their frustrations on me and exchange blows and whatnot in a friendly manner. And after that, as if nothing happened, we became best friends. That's why I suggest guys to actually try fighting, like in martial arts, competing at least once in their lifetime, because you will see and feel what type of a man you will become right after that, especially your opponent. To this day, the opponents that I used to fight, we are like best friends, best buddies, having very best connections. Excuse me 1 second. Let's see how our Instagram live is going. When are you doing your hot tub stream? This guy is so funny. Hot tub stream. Maybe when I'll be connecting with Colin McGregor, Michael Chandler. I'll be doing it like UFC Ultimate Fighter type of hot tub stream, whatnot. Maybe add some Q&As, stuff like that. Maybe have an audience in the background actually watching the whole thing unfold. Alrighty, back to the live stream. So yeah, this is what to wrap up my specifically subject about violence. And number one is, like I said, if someone who you're depending on, like a business partner or a friend, is trying to insult you specifically online, not in person, you're gonna have to specifically escalate it in the way of, okay, we need to get this settled, right? Because we cannot keep going like that. Number two, if they do keep insulting you and not apologize, which usually in most cases they will, but if they don't apologize, you're gonna have to say, okay, look, you don't apologize. I understand that it's at the heat of the moment, but if you don't apologize, well, we're gonna have to straighten this out because otherwise there's no way we can keep going like that. And from there, what real men do is that they straighten us out in a safe environment. I preferably like to always suggest a martial arts gym where it's a controlled environment with protection gear and boxing gloves, headgear, mouth guard. And after that, you straighten this out, you become best friends. That is a healthy way of settling arguments or settling any disputes, which actually is something that I noticed inside of street beefs when I used to fight for them. And there's a lot of guys who had beefs. There's like 70 guys coming at the same time. Straightened this out, became best friends. So this is to wrap up our violence thingy. Now, let's go to special announcements because I've been working on a lot of things in the background that you guys will find super useful. Let me just have a nice sip of coffee. Announcement number one. So the BFF.com, my store, has officially reopened. You can actually find the link in the description, either in my Instagram bio, Facebook bio, even YouTube bio, all my social medias that I'm at. You can find it there. I also dropped the link in the description for the store. You will find very important products for your health, like Fireblood. And let me grab the tub right now. So Fireblood right here. I've already introduced this supplement for y'all in the past. So this thing right here is a very powerful tool for your health, for your performance in athletics, health and wellness and whatnot. This thing has all the multivitamins and multiminerals you need, and hell, even amino acids to get your body going all in one scoop. So I always take it first thing in the morning with my coffee, with my water. It's has bunch of things in there. I'm talking right now vitamin A, 125%, vitamin D3, 1000%, vitamin E, 375%. Let's go to magnesium, 27%, selenium, 46%. It's all big portions. And what's crazy is, like I said, is one scoop. Now, why am I promoting specifically Fireball is because most of you guys will be actually spending a bunch of money. I'm talking about like 300, $700 sometimes on like super, super expensive supplements, pre-packed but separated. That's what I used to do. I used to spend money on like multivitamins, multi minerals, but separate packages, separate tubs. And I used to spend like 300, $700 sometimes per month on such products. But now with this specific product, you'll be able to save a third of that. So it's just what, $100 USD for one tub, and it lasts you for 30 days, literally. So you'll literally be saving a third of what you'll be spending at a regular supplement store in your area. So Fire Blood, this is the shit. YouTube chill. I'll drop it the link in the description, and I'll also be selling that, and there's a link to it inside the Banana Fighter Fit store, which obviously I'll link as well. Last announcement is the workshop for the kickboxing in cacao. Now, this is going to be a banger because let's keep it a stack. We don't have a lot of influencers nowadays in Ottawa that actually promote a lot of health benefits and a lot of healthy lifestyle. So I've been fortunate to have been networking a lot with pretty knowledgeable people in the health and wellness industry. And one of them is actually a holistic nutrition expert and cacao ceremony expert, which is Isra Rose. And I actually hosted her in my podcast not so long ago. It's one of the latest podcasts. You can search it up in my YouTube channel. It's episode 3, I believe. Yeah, episode 3. And she was super super knowledgeable about holistic nutrition, about how to clean your gut, restore your hormones, both for men and women. Because for women, something very interesting that I noticed is there is estrogen for women, which is the building hormone for them, but there's also bad estrogen, which women tend to have, and it actually disrupts their body. So there's a healthy way of building estrogen for women, and there's obviously a healthy way for removing estrogen for men because our building block is testosterone, not estrogen. So if you do your blood test and you're low testosterone and you have too much estrogen, you need to worry. Get your blood test done and start getting your testosterone up to get some muscles and just become more fluid in life. Now, as I said, Israel and I are going to be collaborating and launching a workshop here in Ottawa community, and it's going to be the Cacao Kickboxing Workshop. Now, this is going to be something big. I'm going to be announcing the date right now. So it's going to be on April 18th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So for Ottawa people, if you're interested, I'm going to be dropping the link for the booking on my YouTube channel and also be making a story very soon with the link. But basically, it's going to be at Spartan Team Martial Arts, which I've been very fortunate working with, teaching boxing and learning judo from them. And basically, what it'll be is a mix of meditation and a cacao ceremony. So, cacao will be using a very natural ingredient called the cacao, but none of those that you can buy in Walmart. It's actually very organic, and it actually taps into your chakras and your inner body. Super, super healthy. I was fortunate to actually attend one of the workshops with Isra, where she actually shared with everyone the cacao, the ceremony that she uses the cacao for. And it actually is a super, super tasty, super concentrated, but it does exactly what it does. It is healthily promotes energy in your body in a good way. And actually, after that, we did some meditation, and I was able to meditate much better because of that. That was kind of surprising. But alas, the first part of the workshop will actually be meditation with cacao ceremony. But after that, we will be doing kickboxing, hosted by yours truly, Banana Fighter. So, for beginners, for intermediate people, MMA fighters, kickboxers, doesn't matter. You're welcome. We'll be covering kickboxing basics for self defense, very applicable for women and especially for men, so you can build up your fighter personality, your fighter edge, and just get some basics, some fundamentals for self defense and for kickboxing. Because let's keep it real, it's good to at least know to defend yourself and defend your loved ones, especially if you have a romantic partner. So, like I said, kickboxing cacao ceremony, April 18th is going to be a Saturday at Spartan Team Martial Arts. If you're interested, DM me at my Instagram, Banana Fighter Fit. Or for those who are watching the Instagram live, you'll be able to DM me right now. I'll be able to get you hooked up with a ticket, and I think we're going to be capping this venue at maximum 30 people, 40 people. So we have a few bookings in. I feel like we have five so far, and we just launched the event a few days ago. So definitely there's a limited seats. So get your tickets right now. Now, this is to summarize our special announcements. So that's pretty much it. I will try to do those lives every weekend or so, or every Fridays, depending on my schedule, because there's a lot of things, like I said, that are important to share for you guys, for my viewers who have been very supportive. I appreciate your support a lot. And just try to connect with you. If you have any questions, I will gladly answer them. Or if I cannot answer them, I'll definitely have some people that I'll be hosting in my future episodes, which will be able to get those questions answered. So this is to wrap up today's live. Guys, it's been a pleasure to be in front of you, talking and explaining some interesting concepts, so to speak. Hopefully, you pulled at least one important lesson from this live. I will be ending the stream both on YouTube and on Instagram. And yep, I'll see you next week. Peace.